Pit exit's clear. The track temperature is falling. It's now 18 Celsius. You've got 1 gallon left. Pit exit's clear. Push. Okay, Glenn, we've got 2 laps. Let's get this done. P3. P2.
.320 left in qualifying. As usual, if we go full time. Hey, good morning, Mick. It's not you today. The text-to-speech is not working at all, so I gave up on it for the day. Yeah, thanks. That's a good recovery from my outlap. Maybe I should spin and heat up the rears and all four tires a little bit on the outlap every time. All right. I think Dad will be joining, if not already. We're back at Willow Springs. This is the Saturday morning GSRC broadcast. We are 38 drivers. I'm driver number 16. And at the moment, I've qualified P2. 2 minutes left in qualifying, and I don't really know it. It may be available in the UI here somewhere, but I don't really know how to tell who's on what portion of their qualifying stint, but it doesn't really matter. Track temperature 65. It's high usage, and we're looking for 26 fast laps. Will do. Think, and of course I've not really analyzed Togo's driving a lot, but just from watching him and seeing him disappear into the distance, he's so smooth. Everybody's human, I suppose, even when you're 18. I do have the sim running a little bit smoother this morning. I think one of the things that was causing some stuttering last night was the virtual camera I was using. I killed it. I did not send GSRC the webcam today. Stabilized it a little bit.
That's the end of the session, P2.
Cheers, Steve. No pressure, guys. Thanks. Minute left in gridding. With the big grids, we often go full time.
P2, 26 laps. The track temp is 18. The air temp is 17 Celsius. Okay, Glenn, stay calm. Focus. Go.
Dodgy.
Right side. Still there. Hold your line. Clear right.
P3. Okay, Glenn, ignore that fucker in the mirror. Stick to your line. Nail those exits.
Car right.
Oh,
Line. Clear right. Clear left. Clear right.
holy shit, John. That was close.
Come on, keep digging. P4.
Oh, I was guiding that one. I was too close.
Defend your position. Don't let him through.
Car left. Hold your line. Hold your line. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line. Clear left. On your left. Clear left. Left side. Still there. Clear left.
Finally, a good entry to the first turn.
Okay, Glenn, don't let this guy distract you.
Finally, a smooth lap.
P4. Yellow flag. Keep your concentration. Make the bastard work for it. Alright Glenn, just keep hitting your marks. This is looking good. P3.
Gotta do that one better on average.
The gap behind has now decreased to 0.8. Okay Glenn, hold your nerve, just keep it smooth, no mistakes. 23. Yellow flag. Use all the track. Force them to find the gap. Yellow flag. Okay, Glenn, don't be intimidated by this little shit. Make him work for it. Time to get defensive, mate. Yellow flag.
Come on, Ben. Oh, that's done it, sorry.
Okay, Glenn, don't be intimidated by this little shit. Make him work for it. He's all over you. Keep your exit speeds up. Stay smooth. Use all the track. Force him to find the gap. Alright, Glenn. Hold your nerve. Just keep it smooth. No mistakes.
On your right. Clear right. On your left. Hold your line. Hold your line. Clear left. Left side, clear left.
The car behind is catching. The gap's now 0.5. Two laps left. Come on, you're looking good for a podium. Hold your nerve. Make them do the work.
On your right. Clear right.
Okay, Glenn, one more to go. Keep it together, we'll be on the podium.
On your right. Still there.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jorge. That was my fault.
2.1.
That was my fault. Ah. Well, that's a bummer. Sorry, Jorge.
Yellow flag, watch out. Well done, Glenn. Great drive. That's a podium.
Sorry, Jorge.
That was fun. Wow, Gary.
That was fun, but I'm glad that one's over.
Enhorabuena, Nacho. Well done, Nacho, Togo, and Glenn.
Jorge showed extreme patience that entire race. Thank you, sir. Anytime I made the slightest bobble or overdrive, he had way more pace on me. He was patient for a long time. Cheers. Well, okay. I like it. That's a podium. It was a little bit ugly. John kind of getting out of control. I won't say out of control, but getting inside me and not being able to brake anymore. There wasn't much I don't think either of us could have done there. Whew. All right. Save that one. I'm going to need a nap. I hear you. Wow. I am mentally spent. Hey, Twan. I don't know. You think, Mick? I definitely... I moved out into him. We'll see. I have to take a look at the replay, but... Thanks, Twan. I do see your chat, Mick. Apparently, the moderation software held it because you said ass. Woo. But I do see you. I'll pop in. Well, thanks, Mick. I appreciate that. It was a little ugly. Definitely made some newbie mistakes. Nacho probably was always going to have pace on me. That small mistake, I think, into turn 2 gave that to him pretty early. Surprised to see Zabi go off. He usually does not make those kinds of mistakes. And sometimes it even happens to the front runners. Looks like Togo had a little bit of a slowdown or an off or something too. He came way back to me at some point. I wasn't paying attention, but all right. I hear you. Let's see if I can get Discord set up. I'm going to have to adjust the audio settings since I haven't really used Discord since I went to the standalone mic. All right, so let's do... Yeah, you know what? I better just grab the headset. Be right back. Test, test, test. All right, that looks pretty good. Ooh. Thanks, Jorge. I'm just reading the Discord chat as it comes by here.
You see things for what they are and what they could be. It's a world of possibility that flows in you. We like to think it flows in us, too. Designing clothes that help you perform day in and day out. So while you're out there building tomorrow with your ingenuity and creativity, we're doing the same by providing you.
All right, so I'm watching GSRC on my other screen. Whew. Wow. All right, let's see what happened to this one. There we go. Yeah, thanks, Mick. That the defense was effective, but I think it was pretty ugly. And in fact, maybe this is always the case, but when I didn't screw up, I didn't have to defend. That probably just makes sense, right? When I did screw up, get offline, push too hard or something, the defense was, I guess the word's effective. I don't necessarily think it was all that elegant. But that's good. Yeah, the unexpected, I definitely am aware of that.
Welcome back to Willow Springs International Raceway, the first ever Lotus 49 race.
And I was thinking ahead enough so that I didn't need to suddenly move on to the
he missed out and finished
defensive line
last week at Zandvoort. Well, he came back and fought for this
all
one.
Right.
And wound up with
Let's
the win.
listen to GSRC
Hasada,
while I
who beat him
rest.
Last week, but it was Hasada making mistakes that really solidified it for that number 2 machine. And Glenn Becker came home third. Also had to get his elbows out to try and take the podium today over Jorge Nieva, who did finish 4th. But Seb Tixier put on the fireworks, going from 34th to 5th, having intentionally not qualified and climbing through the field. Neil Kemp was 6th behind him.
Wow,
Yuri
Seb.
Giesen was 7th, and Marco Salgado finished 8th. Gary Ho took a 9th today after he had an incident right at the very end, and John Olson ran into him, but still managed 10th.
I was able to use that back marker as a pick in my that wasn't accidental. That was very, very opportune time. So
after running
lucky
a little
me.
bit higher earlier in the race. Xavier Sanchez with those incidents, those rare accidents from him, finishes 14th.
How's the
Thomas
volume
Tuba
on the
GSRC?
GSRC? Is it okay coming through the stream?
Finishing 16th. Michael Grissinger here in 17th, and then it comes to our first car, one lap down. Ben Zoko in 18th, Yanni Lehman 19th, and Bjorn Ackerman in 20th.
Then in 21st is Kurt Clapper. Paul Ferrer came out P22, followed by Andrew Ang 23rd and Jonathan Jordan 24th. Johnny Bell was P25 and Derek Matthews was the last one lap down in 26. Jason Clapper, a bit of a rough day for him in 27th, followed by Caleb Winter 28th, Sebastian Rogier in at 29th, and Christian Arribas 30th. From there, it's drivers who either had many offs or were DNFs out there, unfortunately. So
Technically, I finished second on the oval at Charlotte a couple seasons ago.
Bad points for them, but
And
some
prior to
great
this,
points for
my best
Togo
finish on a
Hisada,
road course was
who took
7th last
second
week.
today. Even though it wasn't the win, at least he'll collect what he needs over some of his rivals. Togo, it looked like you struggled a little bit. What are your thoughts on this track now that you've raced it?
My mistake today is I pushed too hard in the first, second, and the third lap to run away from the second group. And there's a lot of sweepers in this truck, so very easy to overheat the rear tires. Then Nacho
Thanks for
catch my
keeping him informed.
my slipstream on the catch up. Then I struggle to cool it down the tires, so it's really difficult race and the mistake. And the same mistake in the countdown, so I did again. A little bit brake too late, and I let go. So, but the chasing the car is really really fun, and the track is really thrilling and really fun to drive.
You and Nacho looking like you're building a little bit of a rivalry going here. These past two races, it's been you two kind of running away and fighting for the wins.
Yeah, I think so. He's really high rating, and he's a really great driver and fair drive. So it could be the really great battle for the next couple of races, I think.
Well, speaking of the next races, are you going to bring out the inner Takuma Sato for Pocono next week?
Yeah, but next week might be the Spa 24 hours, so a little bit difficult to find the time to practice and join the race. So it's 50-50. So if I can, But I love overall racing. So really want to win next week.
I was going to say, I'd be a bit sad not seeing you there because your first one came at Indy those many years ago. Congratulations on a podium today.
Thank you.
With Glenn Becker, who's had his
That
second
was
ever
Togo
podium, but
Hisada,
first
who
on
came
a road in
course.
second behind
Yeah,
him.
Glenn, congratulations on bringing home some hardware today.
Thank you very much. That was exhausting, in a word.
Well, talk to me about it, because it seemed like no matter what point in the race, you had your mirrors filled with a competitor and you were able to fend them all off.
I definitely don't think it was pretty, but it seemed to be effective. And having come on some pace just recently, I'm not used to being that pressured. Usually it's just make a mistake and everybody goes by. So this was new. It's going to take some getting used to. I'm exhausted. I'm really pleased with that. The outcome was effective. Let's call it that.
Well, maybe it's that paint, maybe the airplane is kind of bleeding off onto the race car a little bit. But I got Mick here behind the scenes asking me, what is this whole hell on toast deal?
It's a philosophical pursuit that basically just means get in it and floor it. Never lift. Take no prisoners. Always look forward.
Well, that seems exactly like what you did today, especially talk to me about the last lap, because you had to get your elbows out there. What was that like, fending off that podium?
Yeah, that was tough. I'm not used to defending, like I mentioned. Jorge was exceptionally patient the entire race. I was a little inconsistent. Like I said, I do think the race was not all that pretty. There were times where I'd make a bobble, miss the drive, or miss an apex, or overdrive a little bit, and he'd be right back in my gearbox again. And then if I could put a solid lap or two together, maybe I'd pull a small gap, 6-7 tenths. But he was waiting to pass me, waiting for the bigger mistake the entire race. He was exceptionally patient. That last lap, sorry, Jorge, I haven't looked at the replay yet. I definitely slid out, I think. Sorry about that. That's a sucky way to clear my gearbox on the last lap. But it was definitely one of those, I'm not going to let him pass. He's going to have to do everything. He's going to have to do all the work. And I did just, I think, get a little bit sloppy. And that corner, unfortunately, where we touched is my bugaboo on this course. It's where I lost it in the race last night. I definitely had a couple of scares on that one today. That I was happy to make it through. Sorry again, Jorge.
Well, I didn't blame you one bit. Joe and I were talking about it on the break here, and I thought it was a good racing incident. And sometimes you got to get your elbows out to fend off that podium, especially when it's your first road course podium. So I didn't see anything wrong there, Glenn. And being a huge aviation nerd, I love seeing the airplane livery on the race car. Before I let you go, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, the usual, the community, specifically today. Jorge, thank you very much. That's such a fantastic run, and thank you for patience. Jorge's already kind of said, hey, no harm, no foul in Discord. So the community is what it is. You guys do a fantastic job. Thank you so much. And today, maybe I'll give it a little bit of credit to the livery. It was fast today.
Well, if none of you know what a Pitts S2 is, go type it into Google. It is one of the coolest airplanes you'll ever see out there. Glenn Becker coming home third place.
And I believe
Out there, Glenn Becker coming home third place.
All right. I think I'm going to call it good. I do want to go back and look at that little fracas I had with John. I do want to go back and take a look at the incident. In fact, how are we doing on time? Yeah, let's do that now. Oh, let's do real quick. How many incidents did I come home with? 3 again. So I lost a teeny tiny bit of safety rating, but gained 79 driver rating. I'm happy with that. Definitely not the fastest lap. Otherwise, I call it a 15.8. As I suspected, Jorge was definitely faster than me. Not only absolutely, but kind of on average. I think he was much smoother. Otherwise, Nacho's fast. 15.2. Togo 15.3. Was curious what Zabi turned before he went off. 15.5. Okay. Whew. All right. Well, let's take a quick look at those incidents. It'll take a minute for the replay to load up, obviously, but yeah, that's a good question, Mick. I don't know if I had 0 damage, but I definitely didn't have any suspension damage. I'll take a look. I might have some nose banged up from John's incident. But yeah, you're right. And I just happened to glance at that as I was watching the slow motion replay during the interview. But yeah, I'm surprised too. If for no other reason than because it felt really sloppy. I felt, and maybe that's the effect of driving on the edge with fast hands. Oh, I could probably get rid of this now, can't I? Yeah. The effect was basically that I felt kind of like at all times I was going to fall off the track, go flying off this corner, go flying off that corner. All right, so real quick, let's do, can't remember exactly what lap John and I had our brackets. Must have been prior to that. Bobby, Jorge. Yes, it definitely feels a little different. Comfort is not a thing at that point. All right, so let's take a look at this from a real view. Blimp is fun, but it's not the best analytical one. This is an annoying bug. I don't know why it keeps resetting my driver view. Just literally this week, I opened a case with iRacing, and they confirmed it is a bug. It's not actually me losing my sanity. But anytime I move from the practice session directly into the race session, it resets this field of view. Doesn't really affect me that much except for replays. But all right, so what happens here? He gets inside. I was a little bit maybe tentative. I want to watch it from Chase. All right, so he gets inside, and he's on the edge. Yeah, I should have given him more room. Racing incident, but he definitely, at that point, he was probably on the edge. He probably couldn't move in. I could have moved out. And what is this zombie back here watching this all happen, going, holy crap, what's going on? All right, yep. Bummer, John. All right, and then let's jump forward to last lap. Not a great turn one, missed the apex. It was a little bit late on the gas from where I was. Thanks, Mick. Yeah, I think so too. Just always kind of looking for what I could have done different to avoid it. Oh yeah, you're right. I agree with you. I moved less than I thought. Both on the edge there. I could have held tighter. I definitely slid out. It was close. Oh well. You think so? Turn one was okay from that compromised position? All right. I mean, it worked. I mean, the only goal is to keep them behind, and it worked in that case. Yeah. Well, the other thing I noticed there was I didn't quite hit the apex either, and no matter where I start from, I should be able to do that. It wasn't much, but a little bit. But again, effective. Okay. Anything else to look at there? Okay. All right, Dad, I don't know whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. I think... I think that'll do it. All right. As always, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you there, Mick. All right. Dad, I'll give you a call later. Have a great morning, and I'll talk to you this afternoon. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Thanks, Mick.